Hello, how are you? I'm supposed to be alive. I doubt it. I didn't think I was going to get here on time at all today because I had an appointment and it just went for once. Everything went very smooth, no traffic, no nothing. Everything was fine. It was great, So here I am. How are you? It's Monday. Yeah, I know everybody hates me. Excuse me because I'm very late with my coffee though. Mm. That was my second mug and it's starting to kick in. So, I did do a little video on Sunday about the shooting at the Carsman Center. That there's a lone wolf type situation, and they said the security was a little lax. He got further than he should have. Well, let me tell you something. If he had had plastic guns, the closest he would have gotten, he could have gotten all the way in if he had credentials. So don't, the guy got as far as he could without credentials, and they caught him, and they're lucky he's alive. He should be dead. They should have filled him with about 20 holes. That's usually what happens. But there were too many innocent bystanders in the line of fire, from what I understand. Now that might have been a mistake, but you know, uh, his mistake was at the time he charged. There weren't enough people to camouflage him till he get close enough to shoot some people important, or he could have shot some people important in the crowd. Who knows? Well, one thing I discussed on the earlier video was that there was a lot of discussion after after the McVeigh bombing of Oklahoma City's FBI headquarters, that the lone terrorist, a man that operates primarily alone, is very, very difficult to predict. It's the hardest one. From I've read, most of the experts agree that the homegrown lone wolf assassin or a terrorist, is very, very difficult to deal with because he's very hard to predict. So with that in mind, I think they did a great job. And I think they were right to leave Trump to last. They should have just left him there. Personally, I don't like Vance that much either, but I didn't notice this before. What they grabbed, they did. Somebody did come out and grab Vance. I thought he just ran off by himself, But he looked startled by the whole situation. He didn't know what was going on. Nobody knew what was going on. Everybody's crowded around Donald Trump. I think some people probably thought he had a heart attack, or JD probably did. And JD was probably, writing his acceptance speech for the presidency, or inauguration speech, I guess it would have been. But that isn't what happened, folks. People they caught him, and that was the end of that. They'll still discuss things, Trump, called I think she might have been a 60 Minutes personnel, that she was reading parts of his manifesto on 60 Minutes, and Trump called the CBS correspondent a disgrace. Well, look, the only disgrace is him hawking that stupid friggin' ballroom of his, that it would be safer and everything. Like I said, I did a lot of talking about this on the regular videos. That the building doesn't make it. The building will make it safer essentially because it's inside the White House grounds. If I'm not mistaken, it's part of the East Wing, where the East Wing used to be. So it's that's already a very secure area. It's probably not that secure during the construction, but it's a secure area, and that would be a very secure area during the any kind of event that's held there. So that automatically. The problem that you have is you got to find it's bigger, so you need more people that are willing to come in and listen to that schmuck. Okay, so that might not happen, but it's not so much the building or it boils down to basically the personnel, and they did their job. You can't go out and say one person didn't do their job. All right, because if there's somebody didn't do their job, it's probably somebody monitoring some sort of electronic equipment that let that gun slip through as far as it did. It's not. Uh, it's not the personnel or anything really. It shouldn't be. These guys did a wonderful job. They do their job, and you got to be. And let me, tell you this. I know guys that go on that protection detail, and it's an honor to be on that protection detail for secrets. It's you have to do 2 years of it to get a promotion to be able to advance yourself. So, because I knew a whole bunch of Secret Service agents down in Newark, so New Jersey, so including one of the original Pope's visits, the Polish Pope when he came. I met the man that stayed with him the whole time. He was head of the Newark Bureau because he was Polish and he spoke fluent Polish. So he stayed with him the whole time, and he was Catholic, which helped. Uh, but I digressed, and now I forgot what I was talking about. You see that? You see what happens to me? This shows you this is live, folks. This ain't no bullshit. I do this live. Mistakes included, including my feeble mind. But getting back to the situation, they did their job, and it's you can have the best technology in the world, but if somebody screws with it and there's a blip, how many people are going to watch that screen and notice the blip and then automatically hit an alarm button, even if it's a false alarm? See, the false alarms get you as much trouble as the real thing does. If you miss the real thing, you're in a bunch of trouble. If you set off a false alarm and cause a disruption and what have you, or cancel it, maybe postponing an event or something like that, you're in just as much trouble. Okay, so you're at a catch-22. You don't know what the hell to do. So sometimes the best case to do is most of people will ignore a blip. So it's possible for somebody to screw with the electronics, but it's not easy in there because everything is so sealed up. Should the event been held someplace else other than a hotel? Yeah, but it's been done there for years, and presidents have attended without any, it's sort of a humor event, people. But for some reason, they decided this time that some guy was going to bust into it. He busted into it after everybody had gotten into the building, which was number one, meant he had to go through every bit of security to get to who he wanted to get to. That wasn't going to happen. And they said Trump was told to get down on the ground. That's why he looked like he stumbled. I think he fell because he's just scared shitless. I don't think that was planned for him to get down to the ground. I think he fell. Judging by the way a couple of the guys were standing and looking around. So that's the most heartless job. I think part of what I was saying before was that's the most heartless job in the world. You have to throw your body between the president of the United States and somebody shooting. And you got two people in the White House right now that nobody wants to stand in front of. Well, three actually: Hegseth, Vance. Well, I guess the whole cabinet, nobody wants to stand in front of them. So that's about 15, 20 people. Nobody's really interested in standing in front of those guys to take a bullet for them, and that's basically what your job is. Your job is to take the bullet. You're the last resort. Your body is the last resort to protect the president of the United States. And a guy like Trump, who wants to protect him? The country would be, I'm not 100% sure the country would be better off without him and with J.D. Vance in his place. So, he'd probably go out and make R.F. Kennedy or Robert Kennedy Jr. the vice president. We'd all be fucked. Because usually what they do, okay, is they take somebody who's like a nobody or something, and they make him vice president, and then they hide him places. He doesn't get to show up. Vance comes around every once in a while because they think he's going to be the next president. Pence was never going to be the next president. Vance probably won't be either. Probably more or less Rubio or somebody like that will be the next candidate for president. We'll have to wait and see what goes on there. Hope I'm around to see it. I'm hoping I'm around to when. Never mind. I don't want to say that, but you probably know what I mean. Anyhow, uh, the the lady reported what she was just doing her job. I guess I got away from that story, huh? When Trump called her a disgrace, and I said that on my other video, I said the disgrace is Donald Trump for hawking his uh, ballroom shooting and using shooting as a grounds to promote it. That's bullshit. The fact that it's on the White House grounds is the only thing that truly makes it safer or possibly safer. Okay? But they've never had a. What the fuck are you? Boy, I tell you, I find bugs crawling on me and I have no idea what they are. I do know they bite. Everything in this country bites you. The women, the bugs, everything. Animals, everything will bite you down here. So, birds. Anyhow, moving right along. Uh, Again, I forgot what I was saying. Don't you just love reality TV? This is real. This is real life shit, folks. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. All right. Anyhow, I had an appointment this morning. I was just check my lungs out. If anybody wants to know what I'm concerned about me, but don't be concerned about me. You know. Uh, Concern yourselves. Watch out for yourselves out there. Don't worry about other people, the president and all these other idiots. You know, they can take care of themselves. They've got more money than you and I do, so you know, let's let's not cry over them, shall we? Oh boy. Now, a scary thing that's going on. There was a report on CNN that there was an uptick in defense spending in Europe. More money than's been spent in like 16 years or something like that. Excuse me. Too much coffee. Wow. Anyhow, I had my lungs checked this morning. They're fine. Uh, but the fact is that they're getting ready for war, not to start a war, not to really be aggressive in a war, but they're basically stocking up on defensive uh, armament and not a offensive armament. You know, of course, defensive armament can at times be used as offensive armament, but they're basically stocking up to defend themselves against they don't know what. They're thinking Russia, but it doesn't have to be Russia. You know, the when this and I think this is all a smokescreen because I don't think they really give a shot about Iran, but I don't know. They anyhow the smoke clears. You know, you watch. Trump is threatening to take Cuba. Now, to take Cuba without a war, he has to give China, which I think is the biggest supplier over there or biggest ally to them, that gets most of their oil and other stuff. The same thing with Iran; they get most of their oil. That means that China gets Taiwan. Taiwan ain't going to go quietly. Taiwan's got U.S. bases on it. So this all, you know, just makes for a fucked up world because, and Trump is doing it, you know. Trump wants to conquer. I don't know, when did we have a leader that wanted to, he's an expansionist. That's what he is. Like they had after the revolution and whatnot. He's an expansionist. He wants more and more land because he wants to put more and more people on it. The problem is, what's he going to do with all those Cubans? Put them in Florida? Florida's not going to be there much. Florida's got a what do they call it? A time limit on it based upon the climate. So we don't know what's going to happen there. So the keys and whatnot could be gone in 5, 10 years. We don't know. The whole coast of the East Coast could be gone in 5 years. Nobody knows. But Trump doesn't care. See, Trump Trump is cool so long as he's got a golf course to play on, and he figures he'll play in New Jersey. Oh, I hope somebody burns that place to the ground. I have friends that have restaurants and businesses very near the country club that he owns in New Jersey, and I feel bad for them, because I just think that place has to go back to what it was, a nice, quiet little country club for the rich idiots in Jersey, and the mafia and whatnot. So and they also have a U.S. Open class golf course, and not far from the same area, in the same area, So, but he doesn't own that yet. He'll work on it. I don't know whether that's considered a public course that's just very expensive or what. But anyhow, uh, it's a Democrat state, so I'm assuming that it's mostly Democrats that play there. So that's why he doesn't get that one. Basking Ridge is the other one, and I forget where the town that Baltusrol is in. I don't know whether that's Essex County, I think. It's not far from the Short Hills Mall, so there's a lot of money in that area. All right, I'm just meandering right now, trying to kill some time. Oh, I've killed too much time. So listen, I'll be here tomorrow. I won't be on time. Okay, I might be here early, very early, which I have to do in order to. Tomorrow is the day I do Lucy's spa date that I canceled last week. That was canceled when I got there, so I have to go down and do that, which brings me back around. It makes me leave around 9:30, and I get back around 11:15, something like that. If I get back early enough, I'll do the live video first. So look around between 11 and 11:15. If I'm back, I will do the video. I doubt if I'll be back. So don't, look for it later in the afternoon or after afternoon or something like that, whatever floats your bubble, because I'm just too busy to do that tomorrow, okay? All right. This one will definitely, the posted video will definitely maybe go up before I leave the house if I get a chance, especially if something important happens. All right, that's it. Find a subscribe button, pound it, subscribe to the channel. So subscribe to my channel, Jeffrey Bruffett, on youtube.com. And the various, I have various videos there, both live and pre-recorded. There's like 600 of each. I think there's a couple, maybe 1,000 or more videos there. I don't know. They deleted a whole bunch of stuff, which was fine with me. I think I might have actually done it myself, but don't worry about it because it's all old, nothing pertinent there. You just find out, other things that I used to do. My first videos I did were about, I wrote a blog. I started out writing a blog about what we did when we got to Columbia, and it was always something new every week because we went to visit a museum or something. We went to see all the sites, and after that, it just got to be the same old crap every day. So I started doing what was going on in the news and whatnot, and that got to be a little boring. And I stopped live videos for a long time because I have the same problem I'm having now, that it's difficult for me to get on the air at a specific time. Okay, I just can't do it, and I'm not even going to try anymore. I do what I can. But I don't deliberately go out of my way to be on time. That's not insulting you. That's just telling you I have a life to live. I have doctor's appointments. I have things to do. I just can't. I don't just sit down, and do it. And I do everything live. All right. As screwed up as this is, Lucy snoring over there, that's all real, folks. What you see in the background, that mess, that's all real. That, by the way, that closet door is falling. I have to try and fix that yet. Try to do that this week. So anyhow, I want everybody to take care of themselves. Be good to each other. All right. And I will see you sometime tomorrow. Take care.